Okay, there we are. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. Hope you've had some nice activities, been out in the rain, sun, wherever it's been around where you are. I hope you're doing well. Let me know how your weekend's been. But yeah, we're back with some more streaming. I think I streamed twice last week. But tonight I'm bringing back one of the sort of series that I did, quite a long time ago on this channel, and that's where I get a guest on and talk about sort of various film things. We've had Snorbuckle on, where we talked about our favourite Jake Gyllenhaal films. We had Becca on, we talked about horror films. So there's all sorts of genres and topics on this sort of feature. So yeah, I'm excited to bring it back. And in a bit, I'll bring Mike on, and we're going to talk about some films. But yeah, let me know how your weekend's going. How's your week so far? I'd love to know in the chat. And if you'd like to know where you can find our guest, I'll just put a little command in the chat. There you go. You can follow Mike's channel, because by the end of this, you'll definitely want to follow him. Definitely. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. But if we're ready, we'll get into the chat and I'll get our guest on the screen. Where are we? There we are. There's Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Yes, I'm not bad, thank you. How's your week going so far?
Well, to be honest, I've just gone back to work after like 4 days off, so it's been okay. But I guess could be a bit of a better start to the week. But I've been really looking forward to this chat because for anyone of your audience who doesn't know, you were of course on my channel not long ago for my weekly live stream. Mm-hmm. That was a blast, and this is my first ever Twitch stream. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
That's all right. It's a first for everything. Yeah. I'll definitely link people if they want to go and check out the video that we did on your channel. Is it still up on your channel? I know you had a few issues with that.
It is, yeah. So what happened very quickly was when Sarah was on my channel, YouTube, like the next morning, like put my video on private, and I was like, well, why? We didn't like use bad language. We didn't touch on like sensitive topics, anything like that could cause a block. And YouTube, put on private, though, like for some kind of material use, something like that. And it said there was like a button to appeal. So I pressed appeal and it said, sorry, appeal's not eligible. And I was like, what's going on? So it turned out it was a YouTube glitch, and it happened to thousands of people, not just me. But it made me join Twitter to get into the debate and message them. So yeah, it was all good though. But yeah, that episode's live on the channel.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so please go and check it out on Mike's channel. There's a link in the chat. So please go subscribe. You definitely won't be disappointed by that. So speaking of your channel, Mike, do you want to tell people about, first off, the name? Even I don't know where the name comes from. I'm sure you're going to say it's a reference from one of your favourite films, probably. But yeah, tell us a bit about your channel and what people can really expect over there.
Yeah, sure. So my channel name is Did You Z That, with a Z instead of SEE for like C. So basically, like the long story short of it is, when I first started YouTube in 2018, my channel was the Z Review, because my surname is Zara, but I didn't want like the Zara Review. It doesn't sound as good. So yeah, that name I just came up on the fly. And what happened was, maybe about a year ago now, I'd like to say, I was looking on YouTube, and there's a channel called Z Reviews. But basically, they're like a big technology channel with like hundreds of thousands of followers. But it's one of those things where if people's going to come search for your channel, and say if you meet someone random at like a Comic-Con or somewhere like that, if they search for your channel, they're mostly probably going to get Z Reviews and miss my channel. So that was the first element. And then also there's actually a company called the Z Review that sell posters. So I was like, I definitely don't want a legal battle in the future. So the funny thing is, and I've got to give big credit here to my brother Joe, my older brother, because I was like, well, I really want to change the channel name, but I was like, I'm not really too sure on what names to have. I just want something with the letter Z in. And he was the one that actually came up with Did You Z That? Um,
Okay.
and I was like, that's pretty cool because at least it's kind of like a gripe on itself, kind of like, did you see that kind of thing? So yeah, that's how the name came around. And in terms of my channel, yeah, so I cover Back to the Future, huge Back to the Future nerd if you can't tell by my shirt and my tattoo here. So Back to the Future is my main love. I cover movie reviews. I also like doing gaming, like festival vlogs. I know Sarah, you've recently done one of those in London, right?
Yep, I did. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, and I just like kind of bringing different ideas to the channel. Like, for example, I was at my parents' house the other day and I found a box of very old cinema tickets going back from
Yeah, I saw this
2005.
on your Instagram.
Right, right. So yeah, I found tickets, but ever since I was young, I've collected my cinema tickets, and I've got them going back to at least 2005. So I thought,
Wow.
well, what a cool kind of series I can bring to the channel by maybe doing one video a week or one video a month, however I format that, and I can just do like, right, my year in cinema 2005, my year in cinema 2006, and so forth. So yeah, I don't like to kind of just do one topic personally on my channel because I guess in a sense it's great if people, and I respect people who do that for sure. But with myself, it's just like if I only cover movie reviews, I can't then vlog a gaming festival because everyone's gonna be like, well, where's your movie reviews?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to kind of keep it an open book.
Yeah, I definitely when I stumbled across your channel, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I mean the Back to the Future thing is the kind of thing that stands out about your channel. The sort of
Right.
the love and the appreciation you have for that film, and the sort of the community that you interact with in videos and in your chat and stuff is like amazing. Like I've never seen such a like a bespoke fandom about like a trilogy. That's so cool. Like a lot of it's like you get the horror sort of YouTubers or DVD YouTubers and stuff, but to find your channel that was so sort of specific about Back to the Future and other things like you just said. I think that's where I assume a lot of people originally found you through that. Is that true?
Yeah, so I've always loved Back to the Future since I was around 14, 15 years old. And I wanted to incorporate it into the channel. And I was kind of wondering for a little while, like how do I do that? And as soon as I did start doing that, because I'm part of like Back to the Future pages on Facebook and like groups, and I'm sure you'll be part of groups of like different kind of field probably. And yeah, I just found like a lot of people were like liking the content, or they want to see kind of some Back to the Future coverage. Because I've been honest with you, I've never researched how many people talk about Back to the Future on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So I could have massive competition, or I could have zero competition. I really don't know. But yeah, so a lot of the audience, I had to answer your question, sorry. Yeah, a lot of the audience does come from Back to the Future, but I guess at the same time, I've got people who like the movie reviews, the Back to the Future stuff, the gaming vlog. So yeah, I kind of from all over, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's great. Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, a lot of people I think jump to your channel for that, but people stick with you and want to see like you do different sorts of content. And I think I mean, I like seeing different sorts of content. I'm very similar to you. Like I like to mix it up. I mean, I felt like I always had to do sort of cinematic releases, but that's just not practical sometimes. Or you don't feel like going to the cinema, and you think, how can I make it different? Or like you go away for the weekend, similar to like you say, like a gaming convention. Why don't I vlog it? That's sort of an interesting video. And to be honest, some of those sort of vlogs that I've done at Wales Comic Con and the WASD thing, like they're like really, really like good views, like in such a short amount of time, because people like go to an event and they want to see it like on the Monday. They want to say, oh, I want to reminisce about that. So, I mean, that's going pretty well, I think, those sort of vlogs. So I definitely am going to try and do more of those. But yes, so a little bit sort of back to your channel, Mike. I'm sure you get this question all the time, but I know that you're a Back to the Future fan, but I don't think I actually know which one your favourite is out of the trilogy.
Okay, my favorite is the first one. I think for me, if you to see the trilogy, for me, I think the first one's more of like the perfect movie. And then maybe a bit of a different opinion here, but my second favorite is part 3.
Okay.
Then part 2, and a lot of people don't like number 3. So yeah, I have a bit of
I'm still yet to see number 3. I I need to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Wow. Okay. So which one's your favorite?
Probably one out of the first two. I'd say number
Right.
one is probably better. I mean, I watched it again. I was on a video on your channel talking about number two. So I
Right.
rewatched that recently this year. And it's like, yeah, some of it doesn't maybe hold up as much. And like, I didn't know about the whole sort of Crispin Glover situation until like watching this. I was like, oh, okay, so that's why he's not in it. But yeah, so that was interesting. But I remember loving the second one as a kid. I think just because it was like futuristic, it was really cool, and you know, you don't know what the future's gonna look like as a kid. But yeah, but like now, like loving films, I think the first one is much better. But the third one, I need to watch. I know a lot of people do like it.
Right.
So you're not alone on that.
That's good. But yeah, I think just very quickly, I think with the second movie, I agree with you. The future element is fantastic. I just think the issue for me, the reason why I prefer the first one, is just after about 30 minutes in the movie, we go back to the first movie again, and it's just rinse repeat.
That is true. Angle. Yeah, it's like all the things you loved in the first one, but let's do it again, you know, with a futuristic look or whatever. So yeah, I get that. Yeah. I think that's a fair point as to why you like the first one the most. I mean, yeah, obviously you like Back to the Future, but I guess if you want to give people just sort of a general sort of understanding of like what other films you really enjoy. I mean, I think you're a bit of a Marvel fan as well, Mike. What's some of your other favourites?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a big geek. I love like superhero movies. My favorite out of Marvel and DC is more DC.
Oh, okay. Controversial.
Right. And a lot of people, as you mentioned, controversial opinion, do be like, well, why DC? Why not Marvel and stuff? I prefer like the darker, grittier movies. They kind of speak to me more than like kind of a lot more like Marvel. I love, don't get me wrong, but I feel like sometimes in the movies got too much comedy. And
yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, sometimes the comedy works. Sometimes it just feels too forced. Whereas like the DC, like the Dark Knight trilogy, is probably going to stand the test of time, or at least a long time. Yeah, so I've got Batman tattooed on my arm as well, and the Joker under there.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, big Batman fan. I actually just got. I'll show you. Just today, got the Batman 4K.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, you've done a video as well, haven't you? I think I haven't watched it yet, but you did like an unboxing of that.
Yeah. By far my favorite movie of the year. But yeah, so I love to get back to the question. Yeah, I love superhero movies. I think they're great, but I also like any kind of movie as long as it's got great storytelling, some characters you can get behind and can relate to also. Like for example, like this year I saw, and I know you reviewed this also on your channel, was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes, I did.
Right, and I just thought as like a multiverse movie, that is probably number one for me right now. Before the Marvel and all that kind of stuff, that one's number one. But it also had like a good emotional weight to it. And
oh yeah, definitely. I was crying a lot.
Right. Well, you went with your mum, right?
I did. I mean, if I'd known the sort of the themes and the subject matter, maybe I wouldn't have taken my mum with me. But yeah, we were just kind of quite not like sad, but it was quite like happy tears at the end. But no, I agree. It's completely. I think it's in terms of the multiverse and what you can do with that sort of idea. It just sort of hits the nose. You know, it hits it on the nose. Compared to these like MCU films, which have much bigger budget, you're like, how can this sort of fairly indie film get it better? You're like. Right, the story, I guess.
Right, yeah, I've got to agree with you, and I think what makes kind of like Everything Everywhere All at Once so special, and some other one of my favorite movies is just very quickly to compare it to Marvel. Marvel's got this big time frame of like I think we've got like the next 10 years of movies planned out. Yeah. Whereas like the early Marvel stuff, they made a movie not to make a sequel. It was just like the original Spider-Man trilogy wasn't so much, oh, we've got to set up for another movie now.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel, like the Doctor Strange movie recently came out, the Multiverse of Madness, it's a stepping stone to get to the next movie. Whatever that's going to be. So yeah, you mentioned, about the lower budget. It's just clearly that Daniels had a huge passion for what they were making.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see that like shining through. Like they love films. Like I could see like all these little film references. I was like, yeah, they're just loving this.
Right, right. And I think that's one thing I'll commend like A24 for at the
hmm
moment. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put this out there. I've got a love-hate relationship with them.
Okay.
I love some of their movies. Some of them I can't stand. But every movie they make, though, whoever directs it makes it with a passion.
hmm
So,
Yeah, that is true.
but yeah, other movies that I love, the original Toy Story. I grew up
Classic.
on that movie. Yeah, and I'm really excited for Lightyear coming out this week.
Yes, that is dropping, isn't it? Yeah, I know a few people that have seen that already at screeners, and they said like, it's a very still good Pixar film,
Right.
so which is good to hear.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I know on Disney Plus right now, I watched a documentary last night, which was like 30 minutes, and it's like from Toy Story to Lightyear, and
Oh, cool.
it talks about the director who was actually the original like animator on the Toy Story movies. He's the director of Lightyear.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's
Right,
really cool. Like that, obviously, that whole arc has obviously gone with him as well. So that's pretty cool.
right. So when I was listening to him talk about that, it gave me more confidence that the movie's going to be good.
Yeah,
He's been with them since the
definitely.
90s to now. So yeah, love Toy Story, and I love The Godfather, the original one.
Yeah,
It's a good
not
movie.
number two. Lots a lot of people love number two more. I thought.
I've never seen number 2 or 3.
No, I've never either. So I'm just saying what people have said. So yeah, I've only
Right,
seen the first one.
right. I've heard the second one's meant to be better than the first. But
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, to answer the kind of question is, yeah, I like kind of all sorts of movies as long as it's got, again, like I say, like good structure, good narrative, characters you are memorable and you can relate to. I'm on board to give anything a go, really.
Is there any sort of like genres that you sort of stay away from? Like I don't know, maybe like westerns or horrors. Is there any sort of thing like that you're like, it's not really my bag, or do you always sort of give different genres a go?
Well, for the longest time, I didn't like musicals. Uh, I wasn't a fan. I just couldn't get on board with them. And the experience. So to answer the question firstly, no, I'm open to kind of like everything, really. But the thing that changed me about musicals, because that was the only one genre I was like, I don't like those kind of movies,
hmm
was the Sound of Music changed my perspective.
Oh, really? That's quite an old school one, that is.
Right, right. Well, what happened was, just a very quick story, was a couple of years back, they put it in the cinema for like a reissue.
Yeah.
And here in the UK, we've got, of course, Cineworld that do like the unlimited cards.
Yeah.
And I was showing, and I was like, I'm going to go watch it. Worst case is I don't like the movie. But yeah, I sat there and I was enthralled for the entire runtime. I was on board, and to this date, it's my favorite musical movie.
Wow.
Right, it was such an experience, and that for me, like, really changed my opinion on. I love watching musical movies.
hmm
So, like, since then, I've watched quite a few. One of my other favorites is La La Land. I really like that movie.
Yeah. 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 That's a bit more of like a. It's technically a musical, I guess, but there's not as many songs. They don't sing every word, as some musicals
Right.
do. But yeah, I think that's a very accessible musical kind of film. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's interesting you said Sound of Music, because I thought you might said something maybe a little bit more sort of modern. But obviously, you've always seen some sort of more sort of classical sort
Right.
of musicals. I mean, one of the films that I used to watch a lot as a kid, like my mum says, you've probably seen it about 60 times as a kid. Like you just watch it again and again. Is the film Oliver? I don't know if you've seen that musical film. Oh gosh, it's sort of obviously it's like Oliver Twist, the Charles Dickens story, but it's just
Yeah.
got musical songs and big numbers and stuff. But it's in the 60s, so it's a bit dated, but it's like 3 hours long. So as a little kid, I used to just watch it on repeat. I don't know, I couldn't do that now, but I think
Right.
I just watched
Right.
it a lot as a child.
Mm.
That was one of my favourite films, sort of growing up. But yeah, I don't mind musical films. I think they can be hit and miss. Some of the newer ones aren't as great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but they're definitely part of like film history. I would say, like some of the older '60s and sort of '70s kind of musicals, and yeah, they're definitely. I get why some people don't like them. I
Mm.
completely get that.
Yeah,
But yeah, they have their place, I think, in the film sort of genre, I would say.
definitely, yeah. And I mean, recently, Spielberg tackled his first ever musical with West Side Story,
Yeah.
and I'd never seen the original one, but I thought this new one was pretty good.
I've not seen either, so I
Oh,
can't comment. But yeah, so you enjoyed the second one, you say?
yeah. So I hadn't seen the original, and you know yourself when we're doing YouTube, sometimes you get asked to do like a collaboration on like someone's channel, and my good friend Jacob Martin, he had me on for Singing in the Rain, another one I hadn't seen. And I'm open to any. Honestly, I'm open to any movie. It's just a case of I just haven't seen a lot of older movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, West Side Story just was one I've always wanted to watch, just didn't get to it. And when they announced the new one with my cinema card, I was like, well, perfect opportunity to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I think it's a great take.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I think, is it on Disney Plus, I want to say? Possibly.
I think so, yeah. I mean, Disney on everything, so probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be on one of the streaming services I've got, Netflix, Amazon, Disney. It's got to be on there somewhere at least. I'll have to
Right.
definitely check that one out. But yeah, I mean, there's a little clip from the stream there, Mike, that you like musicals. That's a bit of tea for everyone that something
Awesome.
that they didn't know about you. I mean, I didn't. I mean, not judging your taste, but I didn't think you like musicals. But now we all know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you saw the Back to the Future musical, didn't you? How was that compared to the film?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Honestly, I could gush about it all night. I won't, but I do to keep it brief. It was so good. So I remember it was first announced in like 2015 time for the 30th anniversary. They were like, "Oh, we're going to do Back to the Future the musical." And when I first heard about it, I was like, "No, please don't want to do that.
Don't ruin it."
Right. So anyway, years went by. I think plans fell like under the radar and stuff like that. And then in 2020, end of 2019, sorry, it was announced they were going to do it and premiere in Manchester. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to give it a chance. Like, I think one great thing about YouTube is it really kind of opens your potentials to like examine stuff in a different way and be more open about everything.
Yeah.
And I booked my tickets. I made sure I was like third row from the front, opening night, and I was like,
wow.
right. And I was, well, it's just in my mind. I was like, I have to be there to see it first, and I have to find out for myself if they've done this justice or not. And I think as like a long-standing fan, I could safely say if they've done it justice or not. And when it finished, I was straight up. I was clapping, big grin on my face, and I fell in love with the musical. I thought it was done so well.
Amazing.
Right. Well, in terms of the differences with the film, like you were asking, so it does follow like the big scenes in the movie when when Marty goes into the past, like right near the beginning of the future, when he meets his parents. So it has like the same structure, but they include like some original deleted scenes from the movie, but in the musical.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Right. But then they also include like some scenes that work better for the musical than it would in the movie. And the way they've done it is so good because the original director, Bob Gale, he did the musical along with the original team who did the soundtrack, like Alan Silvestri. So he's gone on record and said multiple times they spoke about this idea for years, and if it wasn't going to work, they were going to pull the plug and not do it. So, yeah, it's amazing. If anyone wants to go see it, it's actually shown in London right now.
Yeah, it
it's
is. Yeah,
it's amazing.
I need to go and check it out. I think you've definitely sold it on me. I mean,
Awesome.
I heard a few like mixed things about it. Just from like theatre fans, maybe not fans of the film, but a few musical theatre fans. Like, it's I'm sure you can say whether it's true or not, but it's kind of like jukebox musical. So it's like 80s music from the chart. It's not like necessarily written songs for the show. But is that true? Sort of
Yeah,
like I think.
yeah, I can see that opinion, to be honest, because a lot of the music for the musical, I think there might be like two or three original songs from the movie, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take like the original movie soundtrack, it only has like 8 or 9 songs, the whole soundtrack. That's
Okay.
not like the overtunes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the new songs that they've made are catchy, but they are kind of like jukebox kind of style. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get that criticism for sure, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out and give you sort of my own opinion of it. But I'll try and get some tickets if I can. I mean, I think it's always sold out, so I'll try. I'll try.
Definitely, I would love your opinion when you get to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna do a trip to London and do it.
Right.
Yeah. So sort of a little bit more about your channel, really, Mike. I
Sure.
mean, what sort of initially made you want to do YouTube reviews? Was it, I mean, for me, it was the pandemic. I sort of moved to like YouTube and started talking about them on video form. How about yourself? How long have you sort of been doing the channel?
Yeah. So, well, firstly, it's cool to know that you started in the pandemic. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people started a lot of things in the pandemic, which is now
Mm-hmm.
continued, which is awesome. And I can appreciate anyone who has like a creative side and wants to express that. That's really cool. So yeah, for myself, I started in 2018. And what made me really start was I've been going to the cinema most of the time by myself since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work at the Lego store in the Metro Centre, and
That's a cool job.
right, we'll probably have to do a separate stream on that just alone. I've got so much I could tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was a guy who used to work there, and he used to have like the Cinema World Unlimited card, and he was the one who said to me like, "Oh, he goes by himself." So I got a card and I started doing it myself. And it was only in like 2017 I kind of left the store. I started another job, and one of the people at this new job was like, "Do you know Chris Stuckman? Because you love
Yeah.
movies or cinema." I was like, "No, I don't really have a clue who he is." So at that point, though, I wasn't watching YouTube. I'd watch it now and then, but very little, being honest with you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got watching Chris Stuckman's reviews. I thought, wow, this guy's cool. I was like, I like his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some movies, and I can't tell you exactly which one unless I went through that kind of time, where I was like, I just can't agree with his opinion. I was like, it's far from what I feel. I appreciate it, but I was like, it's different. So I like in general, I've always been kind of like a creative person. Like in my spare time, I like writing fictional books. So
Yeah.
I was like, I've got a different opinion to movies, and I would like to just give it a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I always remember when I did my first video, I thought, if it doesn't work, delete. I'm off the platform. No one will ever see me again.
Yeah. That is true.
But luckily it went okay. And yeah, so I've been doing it since September 2018, and love it. Really, really love it. And I just found kind of like just a great way to, and you can relate with this probably, just a great way to really express your creative side.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm a lot more sort of newer to it. I mean, sort of the last sort of 2 years, but there's something about it that I just find because I used to run a blog. That's how this sort of started, and the name
Oh,
sort of started. It was just a written blog. I used to do sort of reviews almost weekly or so, just writing down my thoughts. But then I just decided to do video. One of my friends who's like, "You need to start doing videos. You're talking about films. It needs to be
right.
visual." So I gave it a go, and some of the my first actual film reviews are on my own personal channel. I'll send you them after, Mike. They're very sort of
Lady.
cringy, but but you can see, like, obviously get, you know, better camera angles and lights and stuff, and that's all sort of grown. But
Right.
yeah, I think having that sort of creative outlet through the like form of video is sort of very, I think it works for me because I can just speak quite naturally like we're doing now. You know, it's much more of an easier way for me rather than writing. So then I'll go over and over again. I was like, oh, I can change that. I can keep constantly changing it. Once you know, if you're passionate about your thoughts and opinions, it should just naturally flow anyway. And I can
Right.
see that in like your videos and lots of other people's videos, and you know, you can see that when that comes through. Definitely. But yeah, no, I enjoy doing it. It's just sometimes it's a slog, sometimes it's good fun, but you know, I
I,
like it.
I think it's one of those things also when you mentioned about it can be a slog. I agree. I think it depends when you have a video, right? Like when you did your Wales Comic Con video, as an example, the viewership was awesome. So
Yeah, it
a
did well,
little
that
bit,
one.
right. And a little bit, I mean, it was a great video, but also a little bit in your mind, it's kind of like, wow, well, that's done good. My next video is going to do as good.
Yeah,
And then if it
yeah,
doesn't, you kind of like, well, where have I gone wrong? Kind of thing, you know?
yeah. Sometimes you can get a little bit sort of lost in the numbers, or you know, you might plateau for a little bit on, you know, subs and stuff. But I think I spoke about this on your live stream as well, Mike. Sort of just sort of making the content that you want to make, and the people that
Yeah.
always come back to your channel, that you know, there's a lot of there's, you know, there's always familiar faces, and like my own YouTube comments that, you know, always really supportive. Doesn't matter what kind of videos you put out, people always love to check out different sort of content. um
Right.
so
Right.
yeah, I think just making the right content. But when you do have those boosts, you're like, oh, actually, that's doing pretty well, actually. But it's a good note for like, okay, maybe people like vlogs. I'll try and do them a little bit more. But obviously, I can't. That can't be the only thing I do. So just, yeah, seeing what people like, but also what I enjoy doing. And I gained a lot of experience from doing those vlogs, and I think I'd be a lot more confident to film more. Sort
Yeah.
of in those environments. And if you have people with you, like, you know, if yourself and other film people are there, it would be great, and you'd have so much more confidence, I think, to show people what a venue like that is like. So
Right.
yeah, it's best not to look at the numbers sometimes, but you can't help it.
It's very true. Yeah, it's too easy to look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, you know, doing the vlogs, as you mentioned, I think you made a great point about the confidence and starting to do them more. I remember last year I got my first ever creator pass, and like
Yeah.
you probably did for your London one, you probably had that feeling of being like wow,
Why
how?
me?
Yeah, right. And when I got that creator pass on the first day, you know, I've got some confidence for sure, but there's definitely elements where I'm out of my comfort zone. And I remember on that first day of vlog, I got talking to like another creator just outside before going into the hall. I didn't know them, I'd never met them in my life, but they were a great person. And as soon as we got into the hall, like he was like so energetic, he was so passionate, and then just suddenly something came over me, and I was like, right, well, I've been given this opportunity, I've got to make the most of it. And
Yeah.
why be a bit shy and reserved out of my comfort zone? Just kind of try own it, you know. And I think
Yeah,
that's what's
definitely.
helped me since. And when I did like Insomnia in April just
Mm-hmm.
gone, like that's helped me because I was like, wow, well, I've got that experience. And then the cool thing is, my older brother Joe, he started a YouTube channel recently, and
Yeah.
that was his first ever vlog he's ever done at the game
Mm-hmm.
invention. And I was like, well, I remember being in that position last year, you know. So
Yeah.
really cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having someone with you as well is always a confidence booster, I think.
Right.
Yeah, like, you know, you look like you're having fun playing the games, like, you know, you film each other, like, you know, to have that is awesome, really. Yeah, and each time you do it, it's going to get better and better, I think. And
Right.
yeah, and people are interested in those videos, which is always good.
Definitely.
But yeah, I guess sort of last question I sort of had about your channel is like, do you have any? We're sort of halfway now in this sort of year, which is crazy to say, but do you have any sort of YouTube goals you want to get this year? Say it could be as shallow as I want to get this many subs, or do you want to say something like I'd love to have, like, you know, loads more guests on, or you know, what sort of do you want to sort of do with your channel for the rest of the 6 months this year?
Well, I've not been asked that, so this is going to be on the fly. Well, this year I was so grateful to hit 1,000 subscribers. Like, you
So
know,
cool. Fully deserved, Mike. Fully deserved.
well, thank you. But yeah, it was one of these things where when I started my channel again in 2018, I never thought in a million years, honest truth, I would ever get to 1,000 subscribers. I thought I might hit 200 lucky, right?
Yeah.
And when I hit 1,000, I was kind of just gobsmacked. I was like, wow. I was like, how? But I was like, I'm grateful. I was like, but how? You know? But I guess that's kind of like a little bit self doubt myself, you know? So I guess in terms of goals for the next 6 months, so so I'm going to start my movie ticket series, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be vlogging Insomnia in August, which I may even meet you in person, which would be awesome. Uh,
Yeah, fingers crossed, and I'll vlog it, and then we'll combine vlogs.
right. Well, I'll definitely get your opinion on mine and probably vice versa. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess goals for the year is to carry on the kind of content I've been making. Like still try to get early screeners, like movie reviews. My goal for the year, I guess, the biggest one that I want to accomplish on my channel right now is to get a known celebrity of sorts for an interview.
Yeah,
And
that would be really cool.
right, right. Well, I think the biggest one I've got so far has been, and this was quite early on in my YouTube as well. So this is why I would like a bigger name now. I've got a bit more confidence in my content. I had Jeffrey Wiseman from Back to the Future Part 2 and 3.
Oh, nice.
So that was some time ago when I was like still fairly new, you know, so I didn't have that much kind of presence on screen, I guess to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would love to get a big known guest, even if it's from like a Shudder early screening I've had, or like an independent movie, or even a Back to the Future guest. That would be kind of like the dream.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I
Right.
think that you could probably catch them at some conventions. Like if you could go and find some actors, like if they're ever coming to the UK, I'm not sure, you might have done this already, Mike. But if you could get them to like do some, clips on your channel or something like that, that would be awesome. And sort
Right.
of showing how niche your channel is on, especially that one sort of series of films. I think you can get some guests on. I think you could.
Well, I hope so. I think one thing I would like to do is if I met the Back to the Future cast, because I met quite a few of them in the past. But if I met them now, I would love to just get a video of them and them like saying like, "Did you see that?" And I could maybe
Yeah,
compilate that into like an intro.
that would be so cool.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
There you
so
go. That's your mission for at
right.
least for next year, if not this year.
So the goal is try and get a big interview or a bigger interview if I can, and if not, just create like the content I've been making, but like introduce some new series and what takes like off well, and just implement more on that because I have a blast making whatever I do. But like you said, like the numbers certainly help at times as well to know it's being get receptive, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like especially hitting that sort of 1K sort of goal that you did earlier this year. I think that will hopefully like levitate you. If you start approaching people like, oh, I've got 1K. Oh, okay. They
Right.
might have maybe like disregarded you before, but hopefully now might open up some more opportunities and you can get some names on the channel. That'd be really cool.
I hope. Yeah. Well, what about you? What's your goal for the next 6 months?
I mean, I didn't think I was going to hit 350 this year, so I mean, I
Right.
did that already, so I've already sort of popped that. I mean, I'm going to push for 400 this year. I think I'm on floating around 370, 400. That's fine, but
Definitely.
yeah, I think I'm going to do a few more vlogs. So yeah, we've got I-69 coming up in August. I'm going to try and go back down to the London Film Festival, which is what I did in October last year. But I think I just posted on Instagram and Twitter and Letterboxd all my sort of reviews and thoughts. But I'm going to vlog it because I didn't see anyone else vlogging it, and I think that could be pretty cool. Just if you're going to get an idea of what to expect, so I think that could be pretty cool. And then Wales Comic Con, that's another vlog. But in terms of other videos, I'm not too sure. I mean, yeah, I mean a name guess would be pretty cool. I'm sure I can
Right.
find someone that knows someone that knows someone that could, maybe get an actor of some sorts onto something. But
Definitely.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just making content that I enjoy, and hopefully we pick up some more people along the way, and people enjoy sort of what's coming out on the channel, really. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well,
who knows? Who knows?
Well, I definitely think you'll hit 400 in no time. I really would.
Hopefully. I mean, we've got 6 more months, but I don't want to jump the gun in case not. Yeah. I mean, Tommy in my chat says 400. That's easy, mate. You're smashing it. Well, thanks, Tommy.
Yeah.
We'll try. We try. But yeah, if
Tommy's
anyone has any questions, yeah, Tommy is a legend. I know that's what you're going to say. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer them. But yeah, I had a question from Instagram.
Okay.
I think it's for both of us, Mike. So this was from Louise, who is Popcorn and Pauses on Insta. And they have 2 questions. So the first one is, what is your most anticipated film of the next 6 months?
Oh, okay.
I'm not even sure what's coming out in the next 6 months, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So I know we've got Lightyear this week. Well, as we're recording this week, we've got Thor: Love and Thunder next month.
Yes. Yeah.
I tell you what film I'm actually looking forward to, and I think it comes out in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Blackthorn, or The Blackthorn.
Oh, the Ethan Hawke horror film. Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks cool. I mean, I'm a bit worried because it's been delayed. It's been pushed back quite a bit. I don't know for what reasons, but yeah, I think it's by the same. Is it Scott Derrickson? Possibly. It's the same guy who did Sinister.
I think so.
Yeah, and I watched that film last year and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so that one would be cool. Yeah, that's a good shout actually. We've got some people in the chat saying Nope, which is the next Jordan Peele film. So that'd be good.
I think I've got to agree with that as well, because with Nope, the one thing I admire about the either the director or the film studio, whoever's doing like the marketing, is they've basically shown us nothing about that movie.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's about. It looks like some kind of invasion of sorts, and that's it.
Aliens, maybe? I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah.
But going off his last 2 films, I think this is going to be just as good. And he's got, some of the cast back, like Daniel Kaluuya and stuff. I think it's going to be a good one either way.
I agree. Yeah, I think that could be definitely one of the best films of the year.
Could be.
And yeah, his last 2 movies I really enjoyed, like Get Out and Us. I think they're great films. So definitely he's got an eye for horror.
Yes, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm glad he's taken his time with this one, which is what I like. I was scared that he might, try and rush loads of films, but I think there's been quite a gap between this one and Us. So
yeah,
hopefully that means it's good.
Right.
I hope so. Yeah.
So
I can't think else.
What about you?
I would say Nope is pretty good. What else is there going to come out?
Oh, I tell you what actually looks quite cool I guess the movie I'm most excited for the year. Blackthorn's my most anticipated. But the one I'm most excited for, and there's a particular reason, is Avatar: The Way of Water in December.
Oh yeah, that is this year. Yeah.
Right. Now, obviously, that movie's been announced for so many years now, or Avatar 2 was meant to come out back when. And there's 2 reasons I'm looking forward to that movie. The first one is a friend who I met on a traveling trip in 2019. She's in the movie.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Right. So it's going to be cool to see her on screen, and I'll be like, I know that person. So that'd be cool. And then the second reason is my dad loves the first Avatar movie. He could watch it all day, every day. And my dad is one of these, and I'm not sure if it's the same for like your parents or anyone in the chat could relate, but my dad's one of these who never goes to the cinema.
Right, yeah.
I think the last
occasion.
Right. I think the last movie he went to see, which he was forced along to see by my mum, was Toy Story 3.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, he likes.
That was years ago.
Well, exactly. So that's how often you go to the cinema. So I'm really looking forward to Avatar because my friend's going to be in it. The movie looks good, but I'm going to take my dad to the cinema. So
nice.
be an experience in itself for me.
Yeah, I think we've waited so long to see the second one. I remember when the first one came out, like obviously it was like amazing and mind blowing with what they did, and was like,
Right.
oh, when's the next one going to be? And they like lined up all these like 2, 3, 4, whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's just been so delayed. But yeah,
Right.
I'm more curious to see about that one. Maybe not as excited as you are, but definitely curious to see sort of the progression in like the sort of CG and things like that. I think I'm excited
Right.
for that element of it, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're going to be putting it. I think they're actually showing it in 4K, and they're showing it in September, the first movie.
Ooh.
So that could.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, there should be some exciting films coming out the rest of this year. I just can't think of them at the minute, to be honest. I'm sure there's some exciting stuff, especially near Christmas. Like when it gets to those winter months, there'll be a lot more films coming out then. So
Right.
I'm sure I'll think of some afterwards. So Louise had a second question as well for us. I think we've touched upon it on your channel, Mike, and I know you like some games, but maybe you're not as big a gamer as myself, maybe. But she asks, what is the best game to film adaptation? I mean, you can say it maybe if you've not played the game, but is there anything sort of films that are based on games that you enjoy at least?
Okay, so I've only ever seen like a handful of movies that's been based on a video game. I think the best to do it so far is Sonic.
Oh yeah.
For me personally, I love the two movies. I think they're great. But one thing I really liked about the new Resident Evil movie that we just got is the fact that the locations that they made was identical to the games, which I grew up on. So I really appreciated that. But yeah, for me, I would say Sonic. What about you?
That's a good shout. I've not seen the second one, so I can't fully say that. But the first one was good. I was quite surprised actually how much I enjoyed that one. But I'll probably catch the second one when it comes out on demand, definitely. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, the Uncharted film wasn't a good adaptation at all, in my opinion. That was a bad one.
I agree.
It was so disappointing.
Right.
I don't know.
I tell you what, one wasn't too bad. The Tomb Raider movie from a couple of years ago.
Oh, I've not seen that. The one with Alicia Vikander, I think it is.
Yeah.
I've heard that was actually pretty decent. Because I played the new Tomb Raider games.
Right.
Sort of, they came out sort of 2013, I think, onwards, and they were really good games. And everyone was like, "Oh, the first game is like the new film." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. Now you've said that, you've actually kind of piqued my interest. So I do want to check that one out. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's pretty good. Definitely better than Uncharted. So.
so bad. I mean, some people are commenting in the chat. Liz says Silent Hill. I've never played the game or the film.
No.
Have you played either, Mike?
No, so I've never seen the film. But I remember as a kid, like a couple of my friends playing the Silent Hill game. So I've seen bits of the game, but no, never done either.
I imagine it's quite scary, that one, actually. She says the first one only. Okay. Oh, maybe there was more than one film. I thought there was only one film. But Spectral Skull says Mario Brothers. Now that film, oh my goodness, the Mario Brothers film, that terrified me as a child. I used to have nightmares of, like, I think it's actually Bowser. It's like the human body and then the little head. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Mike. Yeah. Oh my god, it freaked me out so much as a child. But I used to just watch that film constantly, and that section, horrible. Wow. And it's just like, it's that like sort of cheap sort of 90s kind of. There's like this. I remember this being like this stringy like goo, and freaks me out. It's really feel gross.
I've heard it's like, I've never seen it, but I've heard it's like, it's so bad it's good movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it for about 20 years, I would say, but yeah, I'm sure it's really bad and cheesy nowadays. But as a kid, oh my god, terrifying. I don't think I realised it was Super Mario Brothers because I wasn't playing like Super Mario Brothers at like 6 years old probably.
Right.
So, but I
Right.
just enjoyed the film, I think. But yeah, horrible, horrible. Spectral also says Street Fighter 2, the animated movie for me, but that's cheating. I mean, animated movie, that still counts, you know. We're not
Yeah.
ruling out
Yeah.
animated movies.
Never seen it though.
No, I've never played those sorts of, you know, platform fighting games. Really, they were never really my game. And Liz says the first Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie was also solid. I watched the first one earlier this year, I think it was, but the second one I haven't seen for a long time. But the first one was decent.
Yeah.
That was iconic, I think, at the time. You know, it might not be true to the game as such, but I think it was pretty iconic film.
I think that one. Yeah, I think that one has like a good place because it's based on like the original like PS1 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like from that time, back then it was obviously great graphics, but when you look at them now, they're not.
Yeah, yeah, they're a bit jank now.
Right. Whereas I think like the new Tomb Raider, so I think I can appreciate like everyone likes the Lara Croft one with the Angelina Jolie for sure. I think the Alicia Vikander one is great for like the modern Tomb Raider games. Mm-hmm. So just like different generation, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a sort of really valid point. And just one more comment, Liz says the Silent Hill film stays very close to the game's atmosphere. Also uses the original soundtrack. That's pretty cool. It uses the soundtrack. Yeah, I mean depending on what games you play, a lot of games have really sort of iconic soundtracks, you know, through different like cutscenes, or it might be like in the menus and stuff. So to have that sort of throughout, that sounds pretty good, and I imagine lots of people were happy with that at the time that film came out, I imagine.
Well, it's got my interest anyway, so I'm gonna have to go check that.
Yeah, we'll have to check that one out.
Right.
We did get a question a bit earlier on from Tommy in the chat, and he says, "What's your favourite film that you don't think anyone will think that you like a guilty pleasure, but without the guilt?"
Oh, okay, that's a good question. I'm just going to take a look at my collection, little collection of it, just to see.
He's thrown me on the spot now. I can't think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think also.
I mean, you saying a musical, Mike, to be honest, was a surprise to me, you know. But you might say something else.
Well, another surprise, I guess I'll throw this in. It's not related to the question, but another surprise is, actually, a question for you, and then we'll get back to this one. So when you're traveling, or whether you're by bus, car, whatever it is, what kind of music do you normally listen to, like genre wise?
Probably sort of like indie kind of electro pop kind of music, I guess. My main genres.
Okay.
What are you gonna say?
No, that's good. That's cool. So, what I was gonna say is when I'm in the car, I like listening to country music.
Do you know what? I like a bit of country music as well too, Mike. I got into country music last year. I was sort of
right.
But it's not proper country music, but like Casey Musgraves and a bit more like modern sort of country music. Yeah, there's a few people on there. I can't really name names. I think Luke Combs is another one that I was listening to.
Yeah.
So there you go. Maybe it's
awesome.
I never thought I'd like country music, but there was just something about it last year. I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with liking country music. But yeah, we're learning so much about each other.
Right. That's cool. But yeah, going back to Tommy's question. So you were saying about the guilty pleasure kind of movie, right?
Yeah. What sort of film that you like that you don't think people would think that you like? Yeah.
Now I think that's a tough one because we've learned in this stream that I can like all sorts of movies, and you thought I didn't like musicals, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I tell you one that I kind of watched recently that I really enjoyed, and people might not think, the High School Musical trilogy.
Wow.
I had so much fun with those movies. I really did.
Oh God. That's
I
like
know.
my early teenage years right there, Mike. I absolutely loved the High School Musical films as a child.
Same. Well, it was just so fun watching them again, and just the amount of goofs and moments you notice where the camera didn't cut and it's the same scene, or like someone's
Yeah.
walking backwards when they should be walking that way. I watched those recently, so I guess that's my answer. Watched those recently, and they were so fun,
Oh,
so fun.
that's a really good answer. Yeah, I used to love them films so much, so much. Um, I don't know what to say for mine. 'Cause I'm sure anyone knows, like, if you look on my letterbox and stuff, I watch the most random stuff. Like, I don't say that like a certain genre is my favorite, but I could watch, I could watch a horror and then watch, I don't know, yeah, like a teen flick or something. It could really just
Right.
go from one end to another. But a guilty film, oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I don't know.
I didn't like. Well, my answer wasn't really like a guilty film. It was just something I've watched recently.
Yeah,
Just remembered how much I enjoyed that movie.
I don't know what I've watched recently. To be honest, it all goes in and out of one ear.
I'm gonna have to follow you on Letterbox. I only just recently got it myself.
You've only just recently got it. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I know. I've hopped on the Twitter train recently. Letterbox train. It'll be Twitch next.
Yeah, there you go. You've got to be on everything. Everyone needs to find you everywhere nowadays. TikTok, that'll be the next one.
I've got TikTok, um,
Ah,
but I
there
didn't
you
have it for
go.
a long time because I was like, I'm not downloading it, and then I did download it.
Yeah, I was very stubborn against it.
Yeah,
And then I streamed and stuff, and I thought, I could put like my clips from gaming and stuff on there, and I'm going to put some like more like film channel like videos and just clip them down.
right.
And hopefully, it's a good way of people finding you. I've found a lot of people
True.
who I watch through, like, find them on TikTok, and then I will follow them on Twitch or YouTube.
Wow.
Definitely, it's a really good platform, I would say, for that.
Yeah, sure.
Um, there's nothing sticking out to me on my sort of recent watches that was kind of a guilty watch, to be honest. I'm gonna have to pass on this one, Tommy. I'm so sorry. I can't think of an answer on this one. No, I honestly don't know. There's nothing. There's no reason to be ashamed of what you like either.
Definitely not.
If it's a certain film or music, it doesn't matter. You like what you like.
Right.
But yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't give an answer for that. I couldn't.
No worries. It was a good question, though. So thanks for that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very, very good. Let's have a look. Someone says Brokeback Mountain. I mean, I wouldn't say that's quite a mainstream film, I would say, personally. It's a good film. It's a good film. I obviously watched it because I'm obsessed with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's in that.
Right.
So it's part of his filmography. But it's a good film. It's kind of quite sad, really, the story. But I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. Just a movie that I thought was really good, but I don't think people would think I did. Oh, okay, fair enough. Everything Everywhere All at Once was pretty good, though. I mean, yeah, that's a recent one. But I wouldn't say that's personally. I think that's been sort of really well received. That film. I think I've only seen one bad review about that film. I don't know about you, Mike, but lots of people have just said really positive things.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not seen a bad review.
Yeah, I think everyone just can like be drawn into different things from it. The comedy, the sort of more emotional side, the visual stuff's amazing. Yeah, it's just really, really cool. No idea what Letterboxd even is. Letterboxd is a sort of a film reviewing app. You can get it on your phone or on your web browser, and it just allows you to clearly sort of review films, follow each other. You can make lists. There's loads of cool things you can do on it. But I'd highly recommend it because I used to just use IMDb. I know that sounds really sort of dated to say, but I used to rate everything on IMDb.
Okay.
and then
Cool.
I jumped to Letterboxd probably about a year ago. And I did try and keep both up for a while, but it was pretty hard
Right.
to do that. And plus, like, one metric is like out of 10 stars, and one's out of 5. So I'm like, how do I give like a 3 on here? So what's that equivalent to on here? It's quite hard to work it out sometimes. So I stopped on IMDb.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Letterbox is awesome, to be fair.
Yeah. Again, lots of really cool people on there that I've met through there. So it's definitely worth getting if you're a film fan, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Liz asks, have you seen the film Men? Not know if you've seen my question earlier. Sorry, not trying to spam. No problem, Liz. No, I've not seen Men yet. I've heard mixed things. I've heard generally it's okay. I think, have you done a video on it recently?
Yes.
Mike? Yeah. What did you think of the film?
Well,
Well,
no. So what I would say, so I don't know if Liz has seen this, by the way. So let Sarah know in the chat if you have.
Yep.
So yeah, what I would say is, again, I mentioned this earlier, but I've got a love-hate relationship with A24. But I'll go watch the movies because I like supporting a different kind of movie for sure. So the first 2 acts are so good. It's just like creepiness, there's tension, there's suspense, there's mystery around this whole story with our main character. And I'm not going to tell you, Sarah, because I don't want to give you spoilers for when you see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go watch it. So yeah,
awesome.
Spoiler free.
Awesome. So yeah, first 2 acts is awesome. And by itself, and they carried on the story with the first 2 acts, the way it goes, it could have been one of the best films for me personally for the year, for sure. However, they like all A24 movies or most movies, they decided to go on like a very bizarre route towards the end.
Okay.
And this movie certainly goes through one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Okay.
And I can't tell you obviously what, but that for me, like, I got like after the movie, I looked it up and I got the analogy at the end of it when I looked it up. Because I will admit I didn't fully understand it when I first saw that point. But when I got the analogy, I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool how they've done that said thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't huge on that decision. So for me, a mixed movie. I really liked elements of it, but that third act is something else.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that seems to be a bit of a theme, not necessarily just with A24 films, but for example, I don't know if you've seen it, but Last Night in Soho, I really loved what the first sort of 2 acts were doing, like sort of, I guess, the real sort of horror of like living in London and stuff. And then the third act was like, it was out of a different film. It was just so different to the rest of the film. I was like, what is going on? So that sounds very similar here. But I do want to check it out. Like, I like Jessie Buckley as an actress. And I know Rory Kinnear's in it, but that's about as much as I know. But I'm definitely going to check it out. Maybe this week in the cinema, I think. I'll let you know my thoughts. Whether I do a video or something, but yeah, I'll let everyone know.
Please do, yeah. Jessie Buckley's awesome as well, so I was definitely on board.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad she's... Yeah, because I liked her in The Lost Daughter, which came out, I think it was early this year in the UK. Yeah, that was really, really good from her. She sort of does a 50-50 role with Olivia Colman and Dakota Johnson. So, like, 3 great actresses like in one film.
Right.
So, I really liked that film. Not everyone did. So Liz has commented saying, yes, she has seen it. She says, I completely agree. The last 30 minutes probably needed another 15 minutes to bring it home. But it just sort of stopped without anything rewarding for the audience. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try not to infiltrate my mind, but I'll come back with my opinions on that one. But yeah, that seems like a very sort of fair view on that one, Liz. Definitely. I'm just gonna sneeze.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's you.
Thank you. Especially for what you're forced to see at the end, she says. So, right, okay, I'm scared now. Now she said that.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, as I said, the only way I can put it is I've never seen anything like it ever. So that's all I'm going to say.
I mean, can it be as bad as Titan? I don't know if you've seen that film.
I've not seen it, but I've heard so much about it.
Okay. I mean, that was something I didn't expect to see in a film. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Again, I don't want to say in case people haven't seen it, but that's pretty. I was like, oh, there's the shock value. I was like, whoa.
Well, okay.
So, I don't know if it's going to be like that, but I don't want you to say just in case.
No,
It's
nothing
sort of
for me.
nothing hints. But yeah, if anyone has any more questions, pop them in. But we'll probably start wrapping up soon. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Mike? Any questions from yourself that you wanted to sort of throw in?
Not that I can think of, no. But I will say though, it's been an awesome discussion, and I've loved every minute of it. And
Oh, that's good.
and I just want to say, something very quick. I just want to say a thank you to your audience, Sarah, for firstly just welcome me to this stream, but just for following you, because you've clearly got a passion for gaming, and it's just so cool that they're out here supporting you doing that. So yeah, just big thank you to everyone who's watching.
Yeah, I mean, there's some lovely people in here. We always get sort of, some regular people, different people coming in, and whether we're talking about films or we're playing games, like it's a great sort of platform that allows me to combine both. So yeah, I'm going to definitely be doing more of these, and hopefully bringing a few more YouTube people over here. Hopefully trying to sort of blend those sort of two worlds. But I think people have liked you here, Mike. I mean, I'm just going to pop a thing in the chat where I've just linked Mike's YouTube in that link. So please go and subscribe.
Awesome.
Hopefully hearing Mike's thoughts and opinions this evening has made you want to go and check out the channel. You won't be disappointed, everyone. Honestly, you won't be disappointed. So just a few more comments from people. Liz says she likes the cinematography and the soundtrack is hauntingly beautiful. And then the end is like a slap in the face. Okay. So it's just complete change of tone, I imagine, then, for the ending.
Yeah. So I think with that comment very quickly is A24, I think, are like really renowned for beautiful cinematography.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think they're probably one of the like top notches at the moment for cinematography levels.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack, again, I agree. I think it's like it adds to that suspense, especially in the first two acts. It's like it kind of has you on your edge of your seat, like kind of creeped out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again, I agree with the ending. Yeah.
Oh man. And then Spectral Skull says that Mike's tattoos are fire. I mean,
well,
there you go. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you give people a quick little tour if you want to. Mike.
Yeah, sure. So I'll come a bit closer to the camera, so I might be looking off this way. So yeah, I've got the Back to the Future logo right there.
So cool.
Got the DeLorean flying in, if you can see that.
Yeah.
And then on this side, you might not be able to see it properly, but I've got a portrait of Michael J. Fox, and that's his actual autograph when I met him in 2015.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got that, and then at the top here, I've got Christian Bale's Batman, which was actually a cover-up, by the way.
Okay.
I'll have to show you the photo.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it's a cover-up, so pretty good.
And I've got like the Heath Ledger Joker, but again, you can't see it properly because it's there. And then in this, it's a tattoo I've had like since 2011. So kind of like Japanese theme. I've got like a dragon and like a snake, and then a couple of like flowers and stuff around there.
Nice.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, are you going to get any more sort of film-related tattoos, do you think? And are you going to go on the legs or anything?
So I have thought about it, actually, yeah. So originally, again, I'll show you the photo after this stream. I'll send it to you. So when I got this half sleeve up here, so down here, sorry, for the Back to the Future, I had a tattoo originally here. If I didn't have that, it would probably be in a Back to the Future sleeve. But yeah, so in terms of like tattoos going forward, yeah. So my favorite anime, and do you like anime?
I've only seen a few films and like one TV show, so I wouldn't say I love it, but I've seen the odd thing. I'm like, oh yeah, these are pretty. Everything I've seen has been good. So yeah,
awesome. Well, if I can recommend an anime to you, I would recommend Death Note.
Yes, I've heard of this one. They made a Americanized film about it, didn't they? I think.
We don't talk about that. But no, yeah, they did, yeah. But yeah, Death Note is my favorite anime of all time. So I've always thought if I'm gonna get like a tattoo again of like say like a big piece, I would love like a Death Note like leg sleeve.
Oh, cool.
But it's just the case of it's a lot of money. You know yourself with tattoos.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to get something film related, but I'm just like, how do I just pin it down to like, because I like so many films, I'm just like,
Right.
what do I get? And like, I personally just like, get like black sort of ink tattoos. I don't have any color
Sure.
tattoos, so it's just like, what would work with just like an outline or something. I mean, I've always sort of dabbled with I don't want it to be like too intimidating, but like a Fight Club tattoo. Like, there's some really cool like designs that I've seen. Yeah, that's like one of my films that's always sort of stayed with me. But there's
Right.
some really niche films that I'm like, I can never find designs for. Like, I love the film Her with, Joaquin Phoenix. I love
Mhm.
that film. I love
Oh,
The
okay.
Lighthouse. There's loads of films that I'm like, but I'm just like, how would I visualize a tattoo that's I don't know, but I do. I always want more. I always want more. So I'll try. I try and think of a film one. I have to at the minute. I think I need to get that's the next one I need to get. Definitely a film related one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is if you ever decide to get like a film-based tattoo, a little bit what I did with my sleeve here is I had a rough idea, but
Hmm.
the artist at the time I said, look, this is a rough idea I want, but you just do what you want, like what you like, because they've got the creative vision for a tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
You need that sort of collaboration with an artist, don't you? Like, if you like their style, like, how can you meld? This is the idea, they're your style, and hopefully they'll make something cool out of that. So
right, right. I
yeah.
agree.
Um, yeah. Um, so Spectral School says, I have 14 skull tattoos. I mean, your name, I assume you like skulls, I guess.
That's cool.
I have a One Punch Man tattoo. Is that a banger?
Oh, nice. That's an anime.
That's an anime. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect for you, Mike. You're saying about anime. Um,
That's cool.
and then Liz says he's going to get the ending of Men tattooed on his back. I mean, there's such an in joke between you two now, and I'm just like, I need to see this film.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone wants to see something that graphic on my back. So I
Oh
think we'll
God.
stay away
Okay.
from it.
Okay. Spectral School says Death Note up until L is great. I don't know what that means. Does that mean
um,
anything to you?
yeah, what I'll say, Spectral, is I agree with you. But don't add another comment in for it because if Sarah's not seen it, I don't want to give a spoiler.
Yeah.
But I completely agree. So that for me, like when you were kind of touching on just very quickly, you touched on earlier about what's my kind of favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why the anime Death Note is so, like I love it so much is because it's like such like a psychological like battle of wits between two people,
Yeah.
between like basically like a killer and a detective, and that's why I love it because it makes you think as each episode goes.
Mm.
So that's why I can only recommend Death Note to you. I think you'd honestly, I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. There's a few anime TV shows that I've been given to check out. So, but
Right.
it's just on an ever growing list. So it's there.
Yeah.
It's just I've got to get around to it really. Tommy says, "You mean you're not going to get an Until Dawn tattoo next?" No. That's I don't know if you know that game, Mike. Until
Yeah,
Dawn.
I love it.
Yeah, so we played it here on the channel. It's where a lot of my sort of scream and sort of scared clips have
Yeah.
come from playing that game.
I've-
Yeah, they really sort of
Great.
it got me. I don't mind horror films, but horror games and playing them with like these headsets and allowing this lot to have sound alerts, it can always it just ends badly. But it's good fun at the same time. I think there's really good story in those sorts of games. But I wouldn't get a tattoo personally of that game. I don't like it that much, but yeah, it's fun. It was fun in hindsight.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome game. I like that game. I like Heavy Rain. I wish they would.
I've
Really,
not played that one.
that one's awesome. Are you going to get the Quarry?
And yeah, I mean, it came out on Friday, and I know a few
Yeah,
people have played it and streamed, so I'm avoiding it. So I'm like, do I want to get it? But I think it's like £60 for the game, which is quite expensive, really, for
definitely.
a video game. But I'm waiting for people to finish it and be like, is it worth playing without seeing any spoilers? But
Well,
yeah,
I can give you a tip for video games, by the way,
Mhm.
because I've got. I mean, I'd have to quickly grab them from here, which I might do. But whenever I buy a video game, you've made the perfect example, and in game stores, they're always like £60 or £50, and ultimately it's not worth that because games drop the value so quick.
Yeah.
So what I always do, and maybe people in the chat, maybe this is a tip for them if they're not sure. If I ever go buy a game, I always buy it off Facebook Marketplace.
That's a good idea.
So, like for example, like I saw someone today had PS5 the Quarry for like £40.
So they've just played it and they're like, sell it again. Wow. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace honestly is one of the best places you can buy nearly anything.
Literally anything.
Right. It really is.
Oh, okay. I have to bear that in mind next time. Yeah, because I think £60, like, there's not many games that I've played multiple times, like, recently, because I don't really have the time. I just, like, there's so many new ones I want to play.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not sure about £60 at the minute, but I would love to play it because they always get really great actors in those sorts of games.
Yeah.
Like, I know David Arquette's in this one, so I'd love to play this one. But yeah, I'll wait for the reviews and maybe keep an eye out for a secondhand one. Or pop down like CX or something. I don't know if there's something in there. Try and grab it for a discount. Awesome. So yeah, just a few more comments and we'll wrap up because I've just got the 10-minute timer on the last Zoom call, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we saying? I only have band tattoos, one Linkin Park and one HIM. I'm trying to work out what band that is.
That's him?
Him? Is that a band?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a band or a singer.
Okay.
I think it's actually, no, it's a band, sorry, I think. I know of them, but I don't really know their music, just heard them.
I mean, Linkin Park, that's a cool tattoo. Bands are always a good tattoo to get. It's pretty cool. Death Note is one that got a lot of non-anime people into anime, says Spectral Skull. So
that is very true.
Maybe that's the one that I need to try then. Maybe that'll be a chain reaction of me just watching anime for the rest of the year. Liz is Strange says, Heavy Rain, yes, all in exclamation marks. However, Spectral Skull says Fahrenheit is better than Heavy Rain. That's not a game I've played either, Fahrenheit.
No, I've never played Fahrenheit, but Heavy Rain is a one that, like, I would say got me a lot into like PS3 gaming at the time when that was
okay.
And that's kind of like spawned like Beyond. Is it Beyond Two Souls? It's Elliot Page. I'm not
sure.
I'm not too sure, but yeah, Heavy Rain is so good.
I have to this again. Just adding to the list of things I need to try. I feel like it was just rushed towards the end, but I loved it. I read it was supposed to be at least 2 or 3 editions, separate games. They jammed into one. I guess that's Fahrenheit. I think that Spectral Skull is talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. They're by the same developers, so I guess that's a very similar thing. So Liz says, yeah, Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human is one I've got saved on the PlayStation that I've heard so many good things about, but I've not got around to it yet. Some new games always just come up. But yeah, so I'm playing through the Resident Evil games on the channel. I know you mentioned that earlier, Mike. So I'm on number 3 at the minute. I think we got. Someone said I was about halfway last time I streamed it.
Oh wow! Okay.
But it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just go. It's very action packed. So far, but I'm liking it, and we're gonna play some more on Wednesday. So if you ever want to check out the channel, Mike, that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday this week. Some Resi 3.
I'll do. Yeah. I played number 2, the remaster. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's what we played just before. And yeah, that was really, really good. Like, it plays really well. The story's really good. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Like, it balanced everything because I played the first one as well. But it was the remaster, so it wasn't completely like old school. But even so, it was pretty hard to navigate and the camera angles and stuff. But the step up to the second remaster one was really, really good.
Definitely.
yeah, I enjoyed that one. And this one's, yeah, it's just as good. It's just a little bit more action, I would say.
Oh, that's cool. And then I think next year Resident Evil 4 remaster is coming out.
Yeah, that's dropping next year. But I mean, I've bought Resi 4 already. I've bought like all of the other games. They're sitting on my PlayStation, ready to be played. But
cool.
We'll see if I like it that much. But we'll play what I've got it as now, definitely. But yeah, that's all the sort of questions that we have from everyone in the chat. But yes, thank you very much for being on here, Mike. It was lovely to have you.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully some people have gone and subscribed to your channel and sort of liked what you've sort of been saying this evening and sort of the chats that we had. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I hope it's been okay for you. Has it been all right?
It's been one of the most fun things I've ever done. Honestly,
no, honestly, not true.
Good time. I could sit here and talk to you for hours.
I know, if the Zoom call wasn't ending, like ending two times, we could have gone on longer. But so this is gonna be recorded. I might have to clip round the sort of the times when the Zoom stopped. But if anyone wants to watch this on YouTube, you can watch it on my YouTube as well. That'll go up probably this week, and then you can see it back as well, Mike, what it looks like on the world of Twitch. But yeah, so hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. I'm just going to put another link again to Mike's channel in the chat, so please go and subscribe to him. It's great content over there, and subscribe to me whilst you're there. Actually, don't forget me.
Please do. If you're not subscribed to Sarah, go over to her channel, Popcorn Chat. Go drop her some love. Get it to 400 subs. That's the goal.
There you go. I'm going to clip that. But yeah, thank you very much for being here, Mike. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wrap up the stream, and I'll jump back. Oh, the call's going to run out, so I'll probably just message you on Instagram after this. But
awesome.
What I'm going to do is going to wrap up the stream. But thank you very much for being here. Please let everyone know where they can find you, not just on YouTube. Where can people find you on Instagram and other things?
Yeah, so I've got Instagram, just _ Mike JZ or Z. Facebook, just Mike Zara, and TikTok. Did you see that? And I think it's Did You See That also on Letterboxd as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give you a follow on Letterboxd as well after the stream's done. But yes, thank you very much for being here, everyone. Thank you for getting involved in the chat and dropping all your questions in. I'll be back on Wednesday playing some Resident Evil 3, so hopefully you'll be there for that, for some more jump scares. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.